Schedule entry is an important part of Atrieve so that we know not only when people are working, but also so that the payroll department gets accurate information when somebody is supplying or replacing an employee, and they get credit for the correct number of hours. So let's take a look at how that would work when I'm entering some information for, say, just a teacher account in this case. As the secretary in the building, I'm going to go to Atrieve here and go to the HR menu. I'm going to come up to Manage Staff, Schedule Entry, and Schedule Entry Location. So if you need to select a location, you can do that now, or it'll jump you right into this screen here. Now, your principal is likely the one who's going to be the reviewer of this particular change, so you can leave that just the way it is. Come down the list of employees and select the person you need to set up or adjust a schedule for. I'm going to go ahead and choose my test employee in this case, who is set up as an elementary teacher. I currently have them in here with a 5-day repeating schedule, and they are working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in this particular building. But we're going to change that. We're going to mess with this a little bit. I'm going to click the calendar, and let's say they start a new schedule on Monday. I'm going to start from scratch. And initially we get this FTE calculator coming up, but this doesn't always calculate quite the way we expect it to when we're putting in the hours that the school is open, the hours that that supply person would be filling in for, that kind of thing. So we're just going to click on Hide FTE Calculator for a moment here so that that gets out of my way, and I can look at this part here, which is kind of more important at the moment. I'm setting up potentially an everyday schedule that, except for the weekend. So if this was a teacher who just works Monday to Friday in my building, I could click that option. I would hit Calculate down here, and immediately we're just getting a basic Monday to Friday kind of schedule for this person. But in a lot of cases, we do things on a 5-day cycle, especially if the teacher is maybe working, say, point 0.8 in my building and not working somewhere else, or point 0.2 in another building, or any of those kind of more odd scenarios. So let's just assume that for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and click on every X number of days. That's going to let me put in this 5-day cycle option. So my cycle repeats every 5 days. I'm going to click the, so let's see, statutory holidays, teaching holidays, potentially any district or location holidays if they actually exist. And all that's doing is saying, okay, I've got a schedule that's day 1 to 5. Then on that particular holiday, or say PD day or something, skip over the day so that that way day 3 can happen on the correct Monday rather than happening on Friday when there was a PD day, that sort of thing. I'm going to go ahead down here and say calculate now that I've made some changes, and it will of course recalculate everything. And now I've got the 5 days. So I had chose March 1st. It's a Monday, so given that I'm doing a 5-day cycle, it's just presuming, okay, day 1 is on Monday. So in my scenario, day 1 is Monday. The day starts at 8 o'clock and goes to 4 o'clock in this scenario. Now you can adjust these to whatever times you actually start and finish. So if you start at 8:30 and you go to, say, 3:30, you could do that. There you go, 3:30 on the 24-hour clock. Now what's important here is that this teacher, as I said, works for me, say, point 0.8 in my building. So they don't work on day 5. If that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and just remove day 5 from the cycle. Now, here's where it gets really important. Even though I know they are a point 0.8 teacher in my building, they only work the 4 out of the 5 days on my cycle. The FTE for that day is still 1.0 because they work a full day on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Do not change that FTE to 0.8. That will mess up the person supplying for this person, because when they come in on a Monday and they work an entire day, they're going to get paid 0.8 if this is entered as 0.8. So the FTE on a day-by-day basis on a schedule like this is relevant and reflective of the hours that they're putting in on that day, not their entire position. So if that's the scenario I'm going with, they're a 0.8 in my building. I'm going to go ahead and validate that schedule, and it shouldn't give me any grief. Everything's good. I can submit that schedule. Done. And now I can see, I can review here on this little summary. exactly what it is I've entered, and that of course is going to repeat over and over and over again. I can enter another schedule if I needed to, and there is a scenario where the timing changes a little bit. I'm going to pick on my principal right now because they are in a completely different category here. If I go to the principal and I was going to change this schedule a little bit, let me go ahead and just click the calendar, and I'll do the same thing. I'll start it on Monday, start from scratch. This looks very different. Here it's asking me for a start and end time and a break time. And even though I'm choosing every day except for the weekends, that's still the same idea. So let's say they start at, I'll go with the same kind of times, 8:30. Why is it not letting me type? Let's see here. And they finish at, say, 4:30 p.m. So this is the one screen I've seen so far in Atrieve where we're actually using AM and PM instead of that 24-hour clock. So this is 4:30 p.m. It's not the 16:30 that we would have seen in the past. You'll see the FTE actually just disappeared because it got really confused. It doesn't know what to do with that. But when I put in the 4:30, it goes, oh, I know what's going on, and it's able to type that in for you. If there's a break in there from, say, I'll go PM here, 12, maybe to 12:30, that adjusted that again. So you can make those little adjustments as needed until you get the correct time. And I can say calculate. That's going to give me a slightly different look here. Everything's sort of one row all the way across every day. And again, you can make any adjustments that you need to and then validate that schedule. In this case, no issues detected. I'd be able to go ahead and submit that schedule and make that change. But I just wanted to bring this up because it's the only part in the entire system so far that I've seen it actually utilize AM and PM rather than the 24-hour cycle. So that is a quick look at how you can enter some schedules even when they are not full-time 1.0 FTE schedules in your building. It is important definitely to still enter the correct FTE per day on a cycle like that.